This tree was losing its leaves. I could see it every day from my chair on the balcony, and I'm not lying when I say that 10 days ago this tree did not have a single leaf in it. It had gone so bad that I thought it was dying, and I mentioned to my wife, and she said no, it's Thailand. And now look at it, thriving. Unbelievable that a tree that had no leaves on it has got, well, look at it, it's just full. What we have here is the remains of the stuff that we rescued from the old house. It comprises some balcony material, windows which have metal frames, security frames outside, corrugated iron, and timber. And the timber is in first class condition. I don't know what they treated it with 40 or 50 years ago, whenever it was, but there is absolutely no sign of insect infestation. Everything is perfect, and there's an awful lot of it, as you can see. So rather than throw it away, which we couldn't do, we are using it as far as we can to rescue the bits and pieces of the old house. So turning round, you can see from the bananas blowing that today, although we had temperatures approaching 104 yesterday, it's a lot cooler because we have a steady southeast breeze, which according to the forecast, where the forecast online is 9 kilometers per hour. That means that when the breeze is blowing, as it is, it's lovely. The weather is fantastic. If there should be a lull in the breeze, then the temperature rockets straight up. This is my wife's car. You can see that the chip-ins have come into a third use. They were in a pile just there, and now we are spreading them out, because this afternoon between 4 and 6 o'clock we are threatened with thunderstorms, and the few chip-ins will help. It won't matter with me because I've got a four-wheel drive and I can go anywhere. Looking to the corner, we had another 4 loads of soil delivered, and because of building work being done at the moment, that will all have to be moved by hand or by wheelbarrow. It's surplus to be filling the bits and bobs. On Sunday I said that there would be no work done on the following day. It was because it was a Buddha day, but more important, our relatives were visiting a sick relative. Sadly, that relative died at 6:15 yesterday morning, and unsurprisingly all building work has come to a halt and will remain at stop for the foreseeable future. So I thought today would be a good day to show you how far we'd got outside, and this will be the last video relating to house build until everything is finalized. A lot of this earth will be moved into the space that you see here between the pillars, and then concrete put on top. To the rear of the house there are shutters, so the place is totally secure, but we intend removing those and putting the windows that you saw earlier in this video, putting those in to give a degree of light in what are going to be 2 storage rooms. The roof has been elevated by over a meter. You can see wooden extensions done to the concrete columns. I've never seen a spirit level used so much. The precision with which my uncle and cousin and the 2 cousins, different lines in the family, did this. The woodwork has been done to perfection. I praise them because I can't do anything myself. So you can see we now have a big strong roof. The intention is that will be a concrete floor. The 2 rooms will be storage rooms with the possibility later of them becoming bedrooms. We had considered that and putting another bathroom to the side, but we've already got 4 bathrooms, so I thought that might be overkill, so we'd wait and see. The space in between the old house and our Thai kitchen, it is intended that an ordinary Thai sala, traditional style, will be made out of the wood that we have and placed here. There is space for it. It is a bit of a wind tunnel as well here, particularly today, and it will be yet another place to sit. But the important thing for us now is to finish levelling the land and to get chippings put on the floor where we need them, and to do it before the rains come. It has been suggested to me that we used concreted the front of the house, and possibility of using tarmac, and we know a guy in this town who has a tarmac construction company. But I'm conscious of the fact that we have a well. We need water to permeate the ground, and because my house is quite big, it takes up a lot of the area that before would have allowed water to seep through to the aquifers below ground. We're lucky with our well. There used to be, and I'm not sure if it still is, a requirement to register a well if it's over 30 metres. Well, although we were charged for more than 30 metres, when we took the pipes out and checked, we found that it was actually 28 metres. So regardless of the present legal situation, we don't need to tell anybody, we don't need to pay any duty on water extracted or anything else. Here you can see my wife has made efforts to start a garden, and she's using the same tactics that we used in South Wales. We flood the area with plants and let them fight it out. Nature will determine what happens here. We don't know enough about Thai plants to sit down with pen and paper and plan a garden. We just don't know enough about it. So you can see just here there is some degree of ground cover. The reason that we want the ground covered is to prevent the soil, the sand in the soil, blowing up this very, very fine dust. The dust itself is harmful. In a previous life I worked in a steelworks, and it was my job to know about soil, clay and sand, and it's a pretty specialised sort of thing. So the clay that was used in the blast furnaces and the steel making plant in the ladles, I used to check on its quality. Here we have a very high silica content in the ordinary soil, but it also has a lot of clay. So I'm hoping today that when the rain comes, what happens is, like froth, if you like, rising to the top of a coffee cup, the clay comes up during the rain and it bonds the sand together, and it gets very, very hard. You can see with the new soil that we've had, it looks quite bright, but then if you look to the area here, although it's been watered and the colour would have been changed, I can tell you that that soil is hard. You have to work quite hard to dig a hole in it. So I'm hoping this afternoon, between 4 and 5, we have very heavy rain, which will allow us to have this soil settling so that we can put down chippings very soon. You'll see videos made by Farangs where they have an enormous amount of soil delivered and they need to have it settled for over a year. Well, that's a great many tons of soil, and usually to elevate it above a possible floodplain. Here we are just remedying a mistake that was made years ago when soil was brought in without need. Our soil levels will be probably 4 inches, no more than that. So it's not going to take a year to settle. It needs to be thoroughly drenched a couple of times, and then we can put chip-ins on top. My wife might struggle initially until the chip-ins go down to get her car in and out, but with my car I will have no problem at all. You have a better view from here of the roof. It's almost like building another house, but to emphasize that it's been done properly by cousins who are skillful, and I admire what they can do because I can't do a thing myself. So we'll have one last look at the house itself. It's becoming more of a home. The solar panels you see on the steps are just charging the individual things. I have a solar fan and I leave it at that. This is the ground level sorted. The next part of this video will be the house itself. Not to show off, but family back home want to see what it's like. And I've only had a couple of videos when it was not furnished at all, when everything was in a bit of an untidy mess, and we've worked. It's not 100% as we want it yet, but it's not that far away. The more observant will see a little Welsh flag flying from one of the bins up there. So I'll stop with this part of the video here and then go into the house to show you what it's like on the inside.